Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Our pets are like part of our family. We would do anything for them. And we're going to share something today that you can do for your pets to make them feel better, to make them act a little bit better. It's almost weird. I was going to say emotionally better, but can I say that?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
yeah.
Because their emotions affect their behavior.
Yeah. And she is Vicki Draper, and she is a certified healer and communicator of animals. And it's great to have you back, Vicki. How's everything going?
It's going great. It's great to be back.
Yeah, so we're talking about essences here, and you may be aware of them for humans, but they can also be used for pets in many different ways. And why don't we just get right to the basics to start? What Vicki are essences?
Right. Essences is working with the vibration, the healing part of whether a crystal or a flower, the healing properties, and that vibration is stored in the liquid, is the medium that it gets transferred to you, whether you're doing it with drops, and in my case, I have fine mist sprays. And people always ask, are they oils? No. Are they aromatherapy? Do they smell? No. So it's working vibrationally with a subtle energy and the healing properties of our earth. Like I said, the crystals and minerals, or the flowers, or even nature, all has healing properties for us. So depending on what's in what formulation is what it will help target for you and your animals.
So this is very different than what I thought we were going to talk about, because my perception, really,
Yes.
When you say essences, I'm thinking right away, last night I put lavender on my pillow. So it helps you sleep a little bit better. And I think it actually made a difference. Somebody gave it to me and said, hey, you got to try this. So I tried it. That's what I thought we were talking about. So that's
that's aromatherapy. And that's where you are not alone. This is a very big common misconception.
very interesting. Okay. Does that also, or can that mean that the essences that we're referring to can come from a flower like a lavender?
Yes, it's processed differently. And
Okay.
so it's all in the process. And even with the aromatherapy or the lavender as the flower, the scent like you're using, they have a hydrosol, which is more liquid, and it's actually safer for animals. It's a different process where they use the steam and process it that way. The oil that most people are common with aromatherapy are the oils, and they're pure oil format. So it's a stronger smell, a stronger impact. And the deal with pets, and what a lot of people don't know, is some of those are toxic for your animals. Wow. And so you have to be very conscious when using them when you have animals. I actually have, in my heart-to-heart book, I actually go through ones that are not safe and then ones that are safe. I did an interview with an aromatherapist that specializes in doing it for animals, and got the skinny on how to use them safely with animals, the aromatherapy. So that's the difference with the essences. There's no worries, there's no concerns.
And yours are all completely safe. But if somebody was thinking about using aromatherapy, like, I'm not saying lavender, hear me out, people. I'm not suggesting that. I'm using it as an example. Something similar to that could potentially be used if you check it out to make sure it's safe.
Yes, because actually, what I learned when I interviewed Joan Sarita, was her name, that there are some lavenders that are not safe for animals and some that are. So even within the name, there's some variation. So you really want to be conscious when using them. You don't want to just go putting oils on your animals.
Wow.
A lot of it is when you put them on there. However, some of it can be really with the scent, or even diffusers. A lot of people use diffusers. And I learned this the hard way, because for years, I knew there were, things with pets not to do with aromatherapy, so I just steered clear of them. And my daughter was very sweet and got me a set of aromatherapy and a diffuser, and so I let it sit there because I was like concerned about using it, but just not knowing. Well, one day I was really sick. I had this congestion. I just was out of it. So I thought, okay, fine. I'm going to use the diffuser, and I put a eucalyptus in it. And so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm starting to feel better, because it's like, opening up my chest. I'm feeling great. I look over, and my cat is hanging off the cat stand, just suffering, breathing heavily. And I jumped up, opened the windows, turned off the diffuser. And what I found is diffusing actually is very toxic because eucalyptus is one you don't want to use with your pets. And a lot of people use it because it's common, it helps, it works, but it's hurting our pets.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. So many people I know are using diffusers and probably have no idea that they could be potentially doing harm to their pets. We have a question. Kelly checks in from Manchester, New Hampshire. By the way, you can reach us at instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. She says, my dog has rheumatoid arthritis. What essence would help him?
That is a great question. I have a Pain Ease essence. So these essences I'm talking about are my own line. That I've been doing them since 2003. They're vet endorsed. They're actually naturopathic doctor endorsed. And there's some naturopathic doctors that prescribe them for their human patients, but they are veterinary endorsed. And so Pain Ease is one that really helps heal pain. It's not just like taking an aspirin and it masking the pain. It's actually going in and doing healing. I also have an arthritis ease, and so it's a different pain formulation. And so with the rheumatoid, the arthritis ease and the Pain Ease would be a great combination. If there's inflammation in there as well, there's muscle ease. So those are my three that are different formulas, so that you can use them all together or you can use them individually.
Can you overdo it in using those? Now you're talking about.
No, that's what's the beauty of it. That's why I offer them on my website. People can just buy them because I don't have to worry about them being misused. They're safe for puppies, kittens, babies, human babies, everything. And how they work is it's introducing a vibrational field. You're spraying the higher vibration into the atmosphere, which is then our energy fields pick it up, so ours and our animals. And our bodies will naturally reach for it when they need it. So they'll just automatically accept it. Some people, with them being skeptic, they may block it. But animals are like, this is helping. Yeah, I want more, And what will happen is if you just spray it more than it's needed, the body just says, I don't need it. It just ignores it.
Interesting. So yeah. I'm learning more and more about energy and the vibration of certain frequencies. For anybody that doesn't know, we all have certain energy. We all have a certain vibration in terms of a frequency. How do you harness that and put that in a bottle and use it as an essence?
All right. The Reader's Digest version is there is a process where you're soaking the actual crystal or the flower or whatever in a bowl of It's a Reader Digest, so not the water, and you're putting it out in the sun. Sometimes it's moon activated. And what happens is then that water is absorbing that vibration and containing that vibration, because the sun or the moon's activating, it's enhancing. So it's infusing the water with that vibration, the healing properties. And then that's what you then preserve. If you don't preserve it, the vibration doesn't hold.
How do you preserve it? I'm a geek. I love asking these questions.
That's okay. Well, there's different preserves. Right now, I use vodka to preserve. So alcohol can preserve it. For a while, I did a non-alcohol version with grapefruit seed extract and glycerin. It was a little sticky, so I didn't like that, when you spray it in the air. But yeah, there's little different preserves, and and the reason and this is what was funny too, is I liked vodka because I could get it non-scented. And so I went to the liquor store and I bought all those little bottles, the different brands of vodka. The guy selling it to me is like, "Oh, she's gonna have a party." And I'm like, "No, I'm testing it for smelling," because I didn't know that some vodkas were really strong in smell and some weren't until I did that test.
Trust me, I've done my research. And then of course you got the flavored vodka, so we just cross those off the list right away.
Yeah.
Those are actually for after you've spent hours and hours of putting the essences together. That's for you.
That's right.
Make martini, whatever it might be.
Yeah. And so there's a whole process. You make a mother, and then you make a stock, and then the essences that come out to the public are from the stock, and then like I said, there's a whole process. And so the mother and stock can be preserved with brandy is a common one for those.
Wow. So how does it work? Let's say in Kelly's situation with her dog having rheumatoid arthritis.
Yes.
You pick one of the three that you suggested.
Yes.
Where do you spray it?
Okay.
Yeah. How do you do it?
This is great. So when it's physical, what I like is adding the physical component. So they are a fine mist spray that you spray in the air or in the field. So when it's something and that helps a lot with behavioral stuff. When it's physical, I like adding the physical component. So I suggest you spray a little bit on your hand and rub it on your animal where the issue is to help it go deeper. You can spray it directly, like on their paws, and then you could then rub it, and that helps. I just like physical with physical, since the physical issue.
Okay. And then let's say if your cat has anxiety, big challenge for a lot of people with pets, especially cats. You would just spray it in the air, spray it near their snout. Like, is that it?
You don't even have to spray it at them. What is so great about it is our energy fields are really big, and our animals' energy fields are really big. So they can be across the room and still get it.
Wow.
So you don't have to run around chasing them, because a lot of times you make a noise. The spray, some animals will be freaked about it, depending on how they've been exposed. And so for cats, I always say just spray it up toward the ceiling. So it's like it's not at them, but they get it.
Interesting. Well, that it's almost too easy. Like you just walk in the room and then
it is. And I have a fun story with the Serene, the calming. It's the one for anxiety that I recommend, is Serene. And when animals really need it, they benefit. Sometimes you work with it. You can work with it, and it will keep decreasing the symptoms. And so when you work with it 3 weeks in a row, it helps heal a layer. Your body will then hold that vibration naturally, because it's been in its field for 3 weeks. Then it will go, oh, okay, this is my new normal. So that's how you do it.
Let me make sure I heard that right, Vicki. So, and by the way, we're talking with certified animal healer and communicator, Vicki Draper, and you can find her at healingyouranimal.com. It lasts for 3 weeks. So did I hear that right? No?
Okay, no. You have to spray it every day,
Okay.
multiple times a day to keep it strong in your field. And then after 3 weeks, you have healed a layer. You have healed a pattern. Your body will then hold a higher vibration.
Gotcha. Okay.
And your animals, when I say your animals. So the serene, and animals don't have a placebo effect. They're not skeptic. They just like, I either like this or I don't, And I have had this client, Sonja, a German Shepherd, and she would go ballistic when the doorbell would ring. I mean, she would just literally just be like Jekyll and Hyde, just, and lose her senses. And with one spray of Serene, she literally, I watched it. That was amazing. I watched her. She's like, her body goes, oh, took it in. She shook it off and just walked on away. I was like, wow. So that was the case that, so Serene's a very popular one. It may not have the same impact as Sonja on every single dog or cat. However, when they need it that bad, it will. And then I've had people like their dogs go crazy when the UPS driver comes, or now Amazon, and before they even open the door, they just spray it, and the reaction's less as they're getting set off by that.
Wow. It almost, I guess the analogy for me, to make it even clearer for people, it's like when you get a tune-up on your car is running a certain way. It's and sometimes when you tune it up, maybe it'll go faster, and not speed, but just the engine will, and that's almost like the vibration, and whereby the mechanic can do it in 2 minutes or whatever it might be. This might take 3 weeks to bring that up higher, and what you want is higher vibration means more positivity, and that's where you want to go. Same thing for pets and humans. So let's go to humans with the essences. I just sprayed it in my room. My cats are here. I'm doing it for 3 weeks, like you suggested. What about humans? Are we picking up on that? Is that going to elevate us as well?
Yes. So that's I worked with some dog trainers and wanted their like case studies early on when they came out, and so I gave them some bottles, and so they did not know it would work on them, but they came back and go, I felt better too. Oh. I'm like, yeah, because you're in that field, you're in that vibration. So that's what I love about it. It's one application gets the whole family. Like with drops, you have to put them individual. This is the whole environment gets it, and so it's just making life a lot easier for everybody.
I love this. Like, let's say there's a little strife or some challenges in your household, and you don't have to tell them.
Exactly.
You're not going to smell it. They're not going to know. So when you spray it into the air, how long does it last? The energy field, and do you have to be present? Do the subjects, dogs, cats, pets, and people, do they have to be in the area to absorb it?
Okay. First question is, it lasts 4 to 6 hours very strong. And then it dissipates a little, but it's still there. But that's why we say do it 2 to 3 times a day for 3 weeks to really just keep your energy field, maxed at the highest vibration of it. And then you will experience that shift. You asked a couple of questions in there. Now I've lost the second one.
Sorry. I think you answered that. And do they have to be in the room for it?
Oh, that was it. That's a big one. So that's why I wanted to address it. Normally, yes. And as we know, energy doesn't care about time or space. So we can set the intention and spray it for the animal for wherever they are.
Okay. And when we say the intention, Like, for example, if I say Jerum, I've always heard or use Palo Santo just to clear the energy. You're supposed to, I hear this more times than not, set the intention. I want all the negative energy. I want you to leave now. You're leaving the door, out the door, and I want positive energy in here. When you spray the essences, should you be doing the same exact thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It will take it deeper. It will take it deeper. It's
Okay.
going to work without it because actually doing the physical spray, you've had an intention because you bought it and you're using it for a reason. That will just deepen it by setting the intention.
Gotcha.
And that's also too if you're, that's why I always tell people to include themselves when they're spraying it. Just realize you're getting it too, because then it just helps deepen it, own it. Or if you're getting it from one animal and you really want the rest of the animals to benefit, just say that. And that helps open the pathway stronger for it.
So I have a crazy question, Vicki.
Okay.
I'm going to try and make this very simple. And I had this conversation with some people at dinner last night. On my journey, I've realized being more positive, having more positive energy, just in every direction, every way, I've noticed that people have reacted differently in a more positive way. I could just walk in a room and it's completely different than, let's say, it was for me a year ago. People look at me and, we smile at each other and I'm not even trying. And even when I sat down, I saw somebody who I work with, haven't seen him in, I don't know, probably like 4 months or whatever. And we started talking about it. He goes, I get it right away. Like I'm feeling something from you and I don't even know what it is. Could you take the essence, and this might sound crazy, but pick certain ones, maybe for positivity, whatever, pick the one, whatever, and spray it around you before you enter a situation. Let's say you're going to go talk to your boss, want a raise. Let's say you're going on a first date. I don't know. These are just all hypothetical ideas. Would it work the same way if you sprayed it around you?
Yes, because it's in your field. And then when you're meeting your boss or your date, they're connecting with your field. So it makes an impact. And so with the raise, I do have a wealth essence. I do have an abundance essence.
Do you have a booty call essence? I need to.
I have a romance essence for the date or passion.
All right. Well, there you go. See, I didn't even know. And by the way, there's so many on your website that I just, I trolled real quick, but I didn't look at every single one. I had no idea that you had some of those. Wow. Okay. All right. So yeah, these are for humans as well, because I don't think, my dog Tanner needs a wealth.
Right. That's why you'll see it separated into people and animals on my site. And then the ones that overlap, like serene, people have anxiety just like animals. It's the same formula. It's just listed on the different site because not all the essences made sense for animals that do for people. Or
right.
Yeah.
This is great. I mean, think about it. Your dog has a freak attack every time, the thunderstorm comes by. And instead of putting them in one of those thunder jackets, looks like a straight jacket, so they're comfortable, I would think the essence would be so much more natural and calming.
It is. And what I say is work with them with it before. I mean, you can't predict thunderstorms. You can predict 4th of July. Fireworks. Use the essence, let them building in it. So then their reactions will be less.
Yep. Yeah. And like you said, you need to build up the energy field. So it can't be, oh, we got a thunderstorm coming tonight. All right. Well, it's already 5 o'clock. So it's not going to work the same exact way. All right.
You can use it situationally. It'll just be stronger if you, build for things that when they have severe issues with that.
Gotcha. Tell me about your YouTube channel.
Yes. It's under Vicki Draper, and I currently have over 100 videos. I counted recently. I didn't know. I've just been putting stuff out there, and they're educational. And now time to get the word out, because I really liked empowering, you and your, as a guardian, and your animals with information that you may not know. And so would love for you to subscribe, and I'll be continuing to put more out there.
Spell your name just to make sure everybody.
That is true. Vicki, Vicki, Draper, Draper. And so when you search for that in YouTube, it'll say healing your animal with it.
Yeah, that's what makes you different, is that even though you are an energy healer of animals and you're a communicator, and we didn't even touch upon that today. We've hit it, a number of times in the past, but you can communicate with animals that are in body and also in spirit, and help in so many different ways on the communication level. But you also have information. So you go to the website, there's everything you ever could imagine. Plus you have your 2 books. You're literally, I know it's a cliche, you're a wealth of animal information. You really are, in all different areas. And for that, we thank you.
Yes, well, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, and you've been doing this a long time. I'm thinking at least 20 years, right?
Oh yeah, it's over 22 as the business within the training and stuff before that. And
wow.
Just my natural, I was a natural born healer and communicator. So yes, I've been doing this really all my life, but it's a profession for over 22.
Oh, fantastic. Check out the website, healingyouranimal.com, and check out the essences. I'm intrigued. I don't take claim to know everything, but I thought I knew where we were going here, and I really thought it was like aromatherapy, where it's the lavender I put on my pillow, but very, very different, and had no idea that there's energy inside them. No idea whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where the animals respond, because they're pure, and they respond. They know. So
we have 30 seconds left. I'm going to ask you a personal question. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
Right.
I'm moving. My dog is already, somehow he's picking up on it. I know it. He's left little presents on the rug and the floor. He's never done that before. He's hanging out on different couches in different rooms. It's like he's picked a different one. Creature of habit. He's always on the same one. What should I be doing? Should I have you communicate with him and tell him what's up?
Well, that would be the quickest, easiest way, I'll tell you. But then you want to tell him what's going on, because he's feeling it. And the next, so the private session is the deepest, quickest way. The essences would be, you could use transition, because it's all about making the move with ease, or I would even just say family, because it's a calming and keeping the family as a unit, because he's a little upset.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate that. Gotta get cracking on that one.
But yeah, that's how they let you know. They start behaving differently, and they start leaving presents, like I said.
And there's no other signs other than, we're packing. Now I'm packing up some boxes and things like that, but he knows, and I know that he knows, because he always does the same thing every day, and it's radically different. For him to pick a different couch to hang on, that's it. He knows. That's it.
Yeah, he does. He knows.
Yep. All right.
Just be sure to tell him he's safe. All right.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We'll catch up next time. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Hang on.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.